Wade, a kind but insecure teenager, is about to start high school. On the phone with Ryan, his loud, cocky best friend who thinks he's way cooler than he really is, they talk about their expectations for the first day, trying to convince themselves they're ready for the challenge ahead. Their call is cut short when Wade's stepdad barges into his room, shuts off the phone, and tells him it's late. The next morning, Wade is jolted awake by his half-brothers making a mess in his room. Meanwhile, Ryan's mom walks in and freaks out when she sees him sleeping naked. Both get ready for their first day of school. Wade is waiting for the bus when Ryan shows up and they realize they're wearing the exact same shirt. Ryan tells Wade to run back home and change, since Wade lives closer, so they won't look ridiculous. Hesitant, Wade agrees and rushes off, but before he can switch clothes, the bus pulls up and the two of them end up as the punchline, mocked for showing up in matching shirts. At school, Wade and Ryan see a younger kid shoved into a locker by two older bullies, Ronnie and Filkins. Disturbed by it, Wade steps in to confront them. Ryan tries to play it cool, but the bullies notice he and Wade are dressed the same and decide to humiliate them further, forcing both into one oversized shirt. Meanwhile, we follow Drillbit Taylor, a homeless drifter living out in the brush, sneaking showers at the beach. One day, some cops show up, ban him from sleeping there, and toss his belongings in the trash. With no job and no money, Drillbit begs at traffic lights, where Mrs. Lampanelli always spares him some change. Hanging out with his buddies Dom and Bernie, he dreams about moving to Canada, convinced the government there will hand out cash to attract new residents. On the second day of class, Wade and Ryan meet Emmit, the kid who was being picked on by bullies yesterday, wearing the exact same shirt they had on the day before. The three quickly become friends, and the favorite targets of Filkins and Ronnie. Tormented every day by the bullying, Wade, Ryan, and Emmit decide to report it to Principal Doppler, making sure their complaint stays anonymous. But instead, the principal calls Filkins in to apologize. Filkins fakes remorse, pretending he's sorry for his jokes. The boys try to warn Doppler that he's lying and tell him he should contact Filkins' parents. Doppler explains that Filkins' parents don't even live in the country. He's legally emancipated, fully responsible for himself. After school, Filkins and Ronnie chase the trio in a car, plowing through everything in their way. The boys barely manage to hide and wait until the bullies leave. Desperate to stop Filkins and Ronnie's torment, Wade comes up with an idea: hire a bodyguard. They interview the toughest-looking guys around, but with their tiny budget, no one agrees to take the job. That's when they meet Drillbit Taylor, who lies, claiming he's an army vet, a secret agent, a decorated sniper, and an expert in improvised weapons. Drillbit dazzles the kids with his fake stories and is instantly hired. He uses the job to steal valuables from their homes, like a silver tray and Wade's stepdad's watch, making excuses that the items are for their protection. Later, he pawns everything in a shop. The following week, he begins training the boys with ridiculous techniques, clumsy ninja moves, and absurd advice on how to handle bullies. As days go by, Drillbit starts to have fun hanging out with the boys, but their payments aren't nearly enough for him to make it to Canada, so his buddy Dom suggests he swipe their electronics to raise the cash. Drillbit then teams up with Dom and Bernie, planning to rob Wade's entire house. After a week of training, the boys head back to school. As they arrive, they spot Filkins and Ronnie in the middle of a rap circle. Wade pushes Ryan, who's into rap, to step up and give it a try. Determined, Ryan jumps in and challenges Filkins to a battle. Filkins fires back with rhymed insults and mockery, but Ryan holds his ground, showing off his freestyle skills. The battle ends with Ryan earning a symbolic win. He leaves with applause and respect, while Filkins is left frustrated and speechless. But once they move away from the crowd, Filkins and Ronnie corner them, furious about the humiliation. Wade tries one of Drillbit's techniques, but takes a solid punch straight from Filkins. After the beating, the boys run into Drillbit, who notices Wade's injured nose. Drillbit apologizes for not being there to protect them. The boys lash out, saying his techniques are useless and that now they're in even more trouble with the bullies. The next day, Drillbit disguises himself as a substitute teacher to sneak into school and keep an eye on the boys. There he meets Lisa, an English teacher, and starts flirting with her. Lisa believes he's a real educator and is charmed by him. The boys get surrounded again by the bullies, but Drillbit steps in by pulling the school's fire alarm. With Drillbit around, Filkins loses his chance to keep tormenting them. Meanwhile, Ryan's getting noticed by everyone after the rap he dropped mocking Filkins. Wade, on the other hand, tries to get closer to Brooke by joining the Asian student club. Brooke finds it odd and asks what he's doing there. Wade replies, "I'm half Asian." She looks at him suspiciously, says he doesn't look it, and questions why he's always at the activities she's part of. He admits he only joined the clubs to have a chance to talk to her. Brooke then tells him he can't drop out now. He'll have to go to every meeting. Wade agrees without hesitation. Later, Drillbit catches up with his friends after school and admits he's enjoying this new routine. His bond with Lisa keeps growing, and soon they start meeting regularly between classes. But Drillbit wants more, and finally asks her out on a date. At Wade's house, his mom asks how school is going. Wade says everything's fine. She takes the chance to talk about the pressure of high school, warning that some kids will want to be his friends, and others will try to sell him drugs. Wade looks confused, so she adds that she's noticed his money's been running low, and she wants to be sure he's not spending it on the wrong things. Wade's stepdad joins in, suspicious, and asks if he's high, since he's been eating non-stop. Wade denies it. Then his mom brings up a silver tray that's gone missing. Wade lies, saying he's using it for home ec. When the stepdad asks about his missing watch, Wade gives the same excuse. In another scene, Wade finds Drillbit cleaning his suit at the place he used to live, before the cops threw his stuff out. Wade talks about his chat with Brooke, saying he's pretty sure she likes him. He also takes the chance to thank Drillbit for everything he's done for him and the guys, admitting how much their friendship means. Wade gives Drillbit a framed photo of the four of them, calling themselves an army of four. He points out that before Drillbit showed up, life was dull, but thanks to him, everything's different now. With honesty, Wade asks that when all this is over, they keep being friends. Drillbit is moved. He's built a real bond with the boys too. That night, Drillbit meets Lisa. Instead of a restaurant or some typical spot, he takes her out to the woods where he's been hiding. He tries to turn the rough, makeshift setting into something special, and admits he likes the outdoors. Lisa is impressed by the way he wins her over, but before she can say more, Drillbit tells her there are things she needs to know, and he wants to be honest without being judged. At that moment, Lisa says Drillbit is perfect for her, and how amazing he really is. She says she's lucky, since lately she's only been meeting the wrong kind of guys. Drillbit listens carefully and replies that everyone makes bad choices sometimes, but his courage to admit he's homeless slips away. They kiss, and one of his friends shows up singing a song for them, making the moment even more romantic. The next day, Drillbit showers at the beach like he always does, but Ronnie drives by with his mom and spots him, thinking it's his teacher. His mom, Mrs. Lampanelli, explains he's mistaken. That man is Drillbit, a homeless guy who always showers there, and she's given him spare change more than once. Hours later, Drillbit meets up with his friends and tells Dom that the plan to rip off the kids and head to Canada is off. Drillbit explains that the boys see him as a hero, and he wants to let them believe that for a while longer. Dom disagrees, but Drillbit insists he won't do anything to hurt the kids. At school, Ronnie spills what he found out about Drillbit to Filkins. Wade, Ryan, and Emmit arrive and are cornered by the bullies, who mock them, saying they paid loose change to the hobo teacher to protect them. Drillbit steps in to break it up, but Filkins and Ronnie expose the truth right in front of the boys. Drillbit tries to defend himself, but Filkins attacks him. Minutes later, Drillbit explains himself to the kids, saying it was all Ronnie's lies, and he manages to win back their trust. They decide to go to Wade's house, but when they get there, Dom and Bernie are finishing loading up the last of Wade's belongings, even after the plan was called off. Drillbit tries to stop them, but Dom hits him and takes off with everything. Wade calls Drillbit a liar, saying he was never in the army. Drillbit apologizes and clears the air, admitting he never made it past basic training, that he deserted, and that his real name is Bob Taylor. The boys feel betrayed after realizing they'd been used, and they cut ties with Drillbit, throwing him out of the house. After finally confessing the truth to Lisa about who he really is, Drillbit ends up alone. Determined to fix his mistakes, he tracks down Dom and manages to recover the truck with Wade's things. Before the boys get home, he returns everything that was taken. Because of this, the kids confess to their parents about Drillbit, causing a huge uproar at school. Principal Doppler hands over a copy of the recording to the authorities who are after Drillbit. Ryan gets upset and jumps to Drillbit's defense, saying he was only trying to protect them because Filkins was out to hurt them. Filkins mocks the whole situation, making everyone laugh and walking away without a scratch. Hours later, Drillbit meets up with his friends and tells Dom that the plan to rip off the kids and head to Canada is off. Drillbit explains that the boys see him as a hero, and he wants to let them believe that for a while longer. Dom disagrees, but Drillbit insists he won't do anything to hurt the kids. At school, Ronnie spills what he found out about Drillbit to Filkins. Wade, Ryan, and Emmit arrive and are cornered by the bullies who mock them, saying they paid loose change to the hobo teacher to protect them. Drillbit steps in to break it up, but Filkins and Ronnie expose the truth right in front of the boys. Drillbit tries to defend himself, but Filkins attacks him. Minutes later, Drillbit explains himself to the kids, saying it was all Ronnie's lies, and he manages to win back their trust. They decide to go to Wade's house, but when they get there, Dom and Bernie are finishing loading up the last of Wade's belongings, even after the plan was called off. Drillbit tries to stop them, but Dom hits him and takes off with everything. Wade calls Drillbit a liar, saying he was never in the army. Drillbit apologizes and clears the air, admitting he never made it past basic training, that he deserted, and that his real name is Bob Taylor. The boys feel betrayed after realizing they'd been used, and they cut ties with Drillbit, throwing him out of the house. After finally confessing the truth to Lisa about who he really is, Drillbit ends up alone. Determined to fix his mistakes, he tracks down Dom and manages to recover the truck with Wade's things. Before the boys get home, he returns everything that was taken. Because of this, the kids confess to their parents about Drillbit, causing a huge uproar at school. Principal Doppler hands over a copy of the recording to the authorities who are after Drillbit. Ryan gets upset and jumps to Drillbit's defense, saying he was only trying to protect them because Filkins was out to hurt them. Filkins mocks the whole situation, making everyone laugh and walking away without a scratch. Drillbit, meanwhile, finally hits a scratch-off ticket and gets the chance to head to Canada. Back at school, his absence leaves the boys even more exposed. Wade tries to ask Brooke out when Filkins shows up and sprays soda all over them. He mocks Wade and Brooke stands up for him, but Filkins insults her and punches Wade. This time, though, Wade finds the courage to face him and challenges Filkins to a fight at his house. Ryan says his friend was awesome, promising that he and Emmit will back him up. But Emmit refuses to get involved and bails. Left on their own, Ryan and Wade start training together. That night, they show up at Filkins' house, where everyone's waiting for a showdown. On the first clash, they pound him hard. Filkins hits the floor, but quickly bounces back and charges at the boys. Ryan counters by smacking him with a video game console. The fight heats up when Ronnie steps in and drags them outside. But then Emmit shows up too, ready to help his friends. The three manage to hold their own, but soon they're knocked down. Drillbit jumps in to stop the fight, but Filkins doesn't hesitate. He lands a punch straight to Drillbit's face. Drillbit tries to talk him down, but takes another hit, and another. That's when Drillbit realizes Filkins is over 18, and decides to strike back. Using his skills, he manages to take Filkins down. The police arrive and Filkins sneaks off. Seeing the cops, Drillbit also thinks about leaving, but Filkins comes back yelling it's not over yet and hurls his sword at the boys. Drillbit catches the blade just in time. The kids are stunned he doesn't even flinch, though his pinky finger pays the price. Filkins is arrested and Drillbit's taken to the hospital, only to get booked himself for using a fake ID. Meanwhile, Wade, Ryan, and Emmit earn respect at school. They grow more confident and make new friends. Behind bars, Drillbit writes a letter to the boys saying he's glad they remembered his cereal, and that Filkins got deported to Hong Kong to live with his parents after giving alcohol to minors. The movie wraps up with Drillbit serving his 3-week sentence, then reuniting with Lisa and the boys. Alright guys, that's today's movie. Drop a comment below and tell me what you thought. I'm Gustavo Marquez, signing off for now. If you liked it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Sorry, see you at ya purse. Big hug to all of you and see you in the next video.